If you want to learn how to make clean UI animations in DaVinci Resolve, watch this. I'm breaking down my viral iDream animation into a short, simple tutorial you can follow, even if you're a complete beginner. And if you want to skip the setup and get the exact project file I used for this animation, or any of my other animations, the link is below. Use it, study it, reverse engineer it, whatever helps you learn faster. Alright, let's get into it. This entire animation is built inside Fusion, so the first thing we need is a Fusion composition. Right-click on any empty space in the Edit page, select New Fusion Composition, drag it onto your timeline, and switch over to the Fusion page. Right now, you only see a Media Out node. That's just the final output. Let's start building by adding a background node and connecting it to Media Out. Set the background to white. Next, you need to know the two types of merge nodes you'll see in Fusion. Merge lets you connect one foreground element. MultiMerge lets you connect as many layers as you want. For this animation, we'll start with a MultiMerge, then add another background node, and connect a rectangle mask to it. Pick any color you like. I'm using a gradient from purple to black. To animate the app opening, resize the rectangle into a square and move it off screen at the bottom. Add keyframes for position, width, and height. Move about 40 frames forward, move the rectangle to the center, and stretch it into a phone screen shape. DaVinci auto keyframes every adjustment, so you don't need to add new keyframes manually. Right now, the animation looks stiff. Open the Spline tab, select your keyframes, press S to ease them in and out, and adjust the curves. Now the animation is smooth. I downloaded a spinning moon video, so let's add that and connect it into the MultiMerge. It's way too big, so we'll put a transform node before it to resize and position it. But there's a problem. The moon is appearing outside the rectangle. To fix that, connect the rectangle mask to the transform node and enable multiply by mask. Now the moon stays inside the frame. To clean it up further, add an ellipse mask to the moon and increase the soft edge for a smoother look. Now animate the moon itself. At the start, scale it down and move it downward. Add keyframes for size and center. Move forward a few frames, scale it up, and move it upward so it sits at the top of the frame. Visible, but not fully inside. Because this app is meant to track sleep, we're going to add a sleep quality percentage. Start by adding a text node and connecting it to the MultiMerge. Type sleep quality and set the font to whatever fits your style. To make the text look cleaner, go into the Shading tab, enable Gradient, and drag the white point slightly toward the center. That gives the text a softer, more premium look. Now, let's add some glow. Press Shift plus space, search for glow, and add it in. Adjust the settings until it matches the style of your animation. With the styling done, let's animate it. I'll animate mine sliding in from the bottom. Go to Layout, add a keyframe for position, and then go to Shading and set opacity to 0, also keyframing it. Move forward a few frames, raise the opacity to 1, and move the text slightly upward into its final position. Open the Spline tab, select your keyframes, hit S to smooth them, and adjust as needed for a clean motion. Next, let's build the percentage counter. Add another text node, right-click it, and select Edit Controls. In the name field, write Counter. For page, select Text, check Integer, and set the range. I'll go with 0 to 89%. Choose Slider Control so we can animate it easily. After that, click the gray text box, enable expression, and paste the code I included in the description. Now when you move the slider, you'll see the counter update automatically. Animate this text the same way as the previous one, position and opacity, and don't forget to keyframe the counter slider as well. Smooth out the splines again to keep everything looking clean.
Next, we're adding the rest of our sleep information, things like total sleep time and REM duration. To create these sections, add a background node and a rectangle mask. Shape the rectangle however you want and place it where it fits your layout. To make it pop, add a glow node and an edge detect node. Click on Edge Detect, enable Edge Mask Overlay, and adjust the settings until you get a subtle highlight around the edges. It helps the element stand out without looking too harsh. Now, let's animate the rectangle. We only need to animate the width. Set the width to 0 and keyframe it at the start. Move forward a few frames, increase the width until it reaches its full size, and then smooth your animation in the Spline tab like before. Next, add a text node and type whatever label you want. For example, total sleep or REM sleep. Give the text a gradient in the shading tab and add a glow node to match the style of the rest of the animation. Animate the text sliding from right to left. Same steps as before, but instead of moving it vertically, adjust the horizontal position. Again, smooth everything in the spline editor. Once this section is done, select all the nodes you just created, duplicate them, and connect the duplicated set to the MultiMerge as well. Reposition the rectangle and text so this new block sits directly under the previous one. Finally, select both the rectangle and the text nodes for this new block. Open the Spline tab, press Ctrl+A to select all keyframes, and while holding Shift, drag the keyframes forward a few frames. This delays the second set of animations so everything doesn't appear at the same time.
Now we're going to animate the transition of the app the effect of swiping up to reveal the next screen. Start with the moon. Go to its transform node and set keyframes for the position at the moment you want the transition to begin. Move forward a few frames, then push the moon upward until it exits the top of the frame. Open the Spline tab, select the keyframes, and smooth them out like before for a clean, natural movement. Next, we animate the rest of the elements, all the text and both rectangles. Set their starting and ending keyframes on the same frames as the moon so everything moves together. Again, smooth their splines so the entire transition feels unified. Once the swipe up transition is done, it's time to build the weekly sleep score chart. We're going to wrap everything in a single merge node. Add a MultiMerge node, then create a new background node, apply a rectangle mask, and add glow plus edge detect just like we did with the earlier rectangles. This will be the container for our chart. Now for the actual bars. Add another background node with a rectangle mask and resize it into a thin, vertical bar. We'll animate this using the height control starting at 0 and animating upward. But here's a common issue you'll run into. The rectangle grows downward by default. To fix that, add another rectangle mask and connect it to the blue input of the MultiMerge. Resize and position this mask so that its bottom edge sits at the midpoint of the chart container. This prevents the bar from expanding downward and keeps the animation clean. Once that's set, animate the height keyframes. Now we have 1 bar out of the 7 we need. Just copy and paste this bar 6 more times, connect them all to the MultiMerge, and adjust the final height for each bar individually. To avoid the hassle of animating every bar and element separately during the transition, the Merge node lets us animate the whole chart as one group. Add keyframes for position, size, and blend. Blend is the opacity. At the start of the transition, move the chart downward, shrink it slightly, and set the blend to 0. Then, when the moon animation finishes and the new screen settles, move the chart into its final position, set blend to 1, and reset the size to normal. To finish the animation, we're going to bring the moon back into the center and shrink it down for the final reveal. Go to the moon's transform node. Set your starting keyframes, move forward a few frames, then pull the moon into the center and scale it down. As the moon settles in the middle, we'll animate the bar chart disappearing as well. On the merge node that controls the chart, set keyframes for position and blend. Then, move it downward and fade the blend to 0. That hides the entire chart in one clean motion. Now for the final touch. Add one last MultiMerge node and connect 2 text nodes. The first one, above the moon, will say iDream. The second one, below the moon, will say Track Your Sleep Smarter. Give both texts a subtle gradient and a glow to match the style of the rest of the animation. As the moon moves into the center, animate the text sliding in from above so everything arrives smoothly at the same time. And that's the full iDream animation.
Feel free to add more details, adjust colors, or customize the layout however you like. The structure is all yours now. If this helped you get cleaner at UI animations, let me know what I should animate next. And I'll see you in the next one.